Reba, no. Ready to go get the chicks? Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. So this is the chicken tractor that I built back in the day. I have a video of me building it. And it's a 6.5 foot by 10 foot chicken tractor with just an aluminum roof panel on top. And then it has, let me bring you closer. It's got a sweet door that kind of opens up here. And it's got like a little clip here to kind of keep it secure. And then I use this stick right here just to prop it up when I use it. Actually, I think I use it here. So this gives you access to changing out their food and water with this door here. And then, you know, the way that when we're ready to harvest the chickens, we just straight up get a net and you just get in there and get them with a net. So it works out pretty well for us. So what we have to do, we're using this for the first time this season. So what we got to do is we got to get our water source in here. We got to get our food situated. And then we also have to move the 3-week-old chicks, or chickens at this point, they're not chicks anymore, into this coop so that we can rotate them every day. There's a really cool feature that I added to this that has made everything so much better. And what that is this chick lift. So when you're moving this, I move mine twice a day. You know, I have time, I just do it, you know, before I go to work and when I get home. And this thing right here is the chick lift. And so what this does, it's up right now, but if you step on it, pops up and it lowers it. So it lowers it to the ground when you're done. And then when you want to move it, you just basically go like this. And then it's up around like 2.5 inches off the ground. So this helps you move it because it rolls, so it's not like dragging. And then also what happens is the chicken's feet don't get caught up underneath there nearly as much as they would if you're just dragging it on the ground. When their feet get caught, their feet get broken, the chickens can't move as much, and it's just not a good day for anybody. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna set up is their water system. So what I use is a bell waterer. And so what happens is you got a 5-gallon bucket, you drill a hole, you run this rubber tubing through, and so you fill this up with water. I don't know why it got a little dinged up here, but that's fine for now, but I'll switch it out eventually. So you got your water in here, you got your tube. I stick it through, I cut out a little hole there. So I stick it through here, and then you got your bell. And so this bell is like a multi-piece system. You have this part under here that's full of water. But once I switched to this thing, it was a game changer. You know, I used to use like the gravity fed waterers, you know what I mean? But this is like a little spring-loaded contraption, and it has this counterweight. And what happens is when this thing lightens up, it actually allows water to come down through here and fill up the bell. So it's a pretty sweet system. I just think I have to top off the water that's in here. Okay. So this is that water thing that I was talking about. So this thing fills up with water. I just got to add more for the weight or whatever. So you fill this thing up with water, you put it all back together, you fill up your 5-gallon bucket, and then it fills up the feeder. And you know, with 5 gallons of water, it'll even last a couple of days before you actually have to top it off. But I check it every day, of course. So I'm putting this thing back together. I hope I do it right. So I got my water, the bell, and that. This just hangs here. I have a nail here. I just hang it here. And the cool thing is, you know, when you're on hills and stuff, like no matter what, it's always level. You don't have to worry about the ones that you put on the ground that are gravity fed. So now that this is hanging, I've got my hose that I was talking about, and that just hooks up. So now that's all good to go. So we got it hanging, we got the hose hooked up. So now that we got it all hooked up down there, I'm gonna pull this thing a little tighter, and I like to just circle it around the bucket so it's a little bit tight and it's not hanging, getting in the way of the chickens. And then I'm just gonna fill up this bucket. So as you can see, the water is filling up in here, and then you can see it's starting to bleed out into here. So this is the Plossin Bell water, and I got it from farmerboyag.com. They're around $60, but this is I found this is the best method to use when running a chicken tractor and trying to keep them watered and everything, especially on uneven terrain. And you know, just put a lid on that thing and just check it. Like I said, I have to replace this bucket. It's pretty jacked up. So all right, let's go ahead and get the food situated, and then we're gonna grab our birds. One other thing I like to do is, you know, every couple of weeks I like to add just a splash, you know what, maybe a little bit more, just a splash of apple cider vinegar. This is what I also call redneck penicillin, and what it does is it really helps out. I mean, I take it for myself, you know, just to kind of clean you out, and it really helps with, like, you know, just a natural kind of remedy to help out the chickens, boost their immunity. You know, it's been working out really well, so I really like using it. I use it for all my animals and stuff. Just once every little bit. It's like a natural dewormer kind of thing. It's really interesting. So we have our chicken tractor. We got our water set up. So for the feed, what I do is I use this feed cart here. This is what I call it, but it's just one of those garden carts. And I have a galvanized trash can here, and this holds 50 pounds of feed, so one bag will fit in this. And I got my pink scoop so I don't lose it, nobody's gonna steal it. And got my scoop, and I'm using this. So I've used this for years, like this kind of feeder holds a good amount, you know what I mean? And that way they don't get up in it and stand in the middle of the feed and poop, you know what I mean? Or stand, if you use one of the long feeders, those are great, but those are good if you have a lot of chickens. I'm only running roughly 25 chickens in this tractor, so this one does pretty well for me. So I'm just gonna fill it up a little bit and go ahead and put it in here. The cool thing about this feed cart though is that I just basically, you know, I close everything up and I follow the chicken tractor with this feed cart, and it's got my apple cider vinegar in it. And when I get further away from the house, what I'll do is I'll put another 5-gallon bucket in here full of water. So if I'm in a rush, I can just take that bucket and fill up their waterer. So this just allows you to balance having a full-time job and also farming on the side or homesteading. So I love this feed cart. I use it and it's never let me down. I mean, it is pretty old and the tires are pretty worn out, but you know, it works all right. All right, so this is our brooder for our meat birds and any other kind of chicks that we get. We got roughly 25 chickens in here, and they're 3 weeks old, so they are ready to move out onto the grass. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna take a few at a time. I've only got this bucket. Sorry to scare y'all, but I've only got this bucket. I've only got this cardboard box. I just cleaned out my garage and burned all the other boxes I had, so I'm gonna have to take a little bit at a time, take a couple of trips, but it'll work out. So when they're 3 weeks old, it's just very important. You really don't want to move them out of a brooder when they're less than 3 weeks old. You want them to be a little bit more feathered out. Oh, don't you try to get out. What are you doing? You're going first. You just want them to have their feathers so that they can survive when the temperature gets low at night. That's all right. But the sooner you get them on grass, the healthier they're going to be, because they're rotating. They're not standing in their manure. Ah! Don't do that. Come on, I'm trying to give you guys greener pastures, literally. All right, there's a lot more in here than I really thought. Ah! Reba, no. I mean, cue the clown music, man. All right, you're stuck behind the water. It's not that scary. I'm trying to help you guys. Jeez. All right, one more. All right, we'll just take these guys for now. Alrighty. Sweet. You guys good? How you doing? All right, everybody's alive. All right. Haha, look how smart I am. I decided to use this little rolly wagon thing. All right, let's get the rest of them. This last one is really small for 3 weeks old, so I don't know if they gave me another breed that they shouldn't have given me, but we'll see what happens. So I like these little rake things here, and I open this door, and then boom, you get all that goodness out of here. All right, we got all the bedding out of this brooder. So now we're gonna go ahead and dump it in our compost pile. This is our compost pile. And so I just recently switched out all the wood chips from the pig pen. And so let's see what we got here. And I mean, it's just breaking down nicely. I got some grass clippings in here. It's looking really good. So you just basically pile it up, and every couple of days you want to give it a good turning. And look at this. We got earthworms in here. That's a really good sign. That means that this is breaking down. We got our decomposers in here decomposing this, turning this into really good compost. So we got our wood chips and our grass. That's our carbon, and the manure from the animals is our nitrogen. And those mix together, once those kind of decompose and break down, that's what gives you really good compost for your garden. So let's go ahead and add this chicken bedding from the brooder. Woo! Wow, that's a good amount right there. All right, sweet. We have our Cornish Cross birds in here, we have our food, and then we have our water. So what I'm gonna do is just demonstrate real quick how these chicken tractors work when it comes to these birds here. So what I do before I move it, I just grab their food and I place their food right here. What that does is it gives me an idea of how far I'm gonna move the coop. So then I'm gonna go around back. We have our chick lift. So I'm gonna step on this, that lifts it up. Push that bracket down. Now it's off the ground. And so now I can move them. So I grab my rope here, and I just stand up a little bit, use my legs really to push off, not necessarily my back. And I'm just slowly watching the birds as I go forward. You know, oh, there goes my water a little bit. And like I said, you're not gonna hit their feet now that you have this chick lift, so it's not as dangerous for the animals because there's space there to where they're not gonna get jacked up. Oh, we got one that, there we go. So you just gotta watch your birds as you do this. In a little bit of time, when they get used to doing this twice a day, once a day, whatever the case may be, they're gonna be able to kind of know what to expect, and they're actually gonna kind of move for you and make it pretty easy. But right now, you know, I'm a big scary guy, and they're afraid of me. And they don't know what's going on. All right, that's roughly good. But like I said, it gets so much easier towards the end. You know, in about a week of doing this twice a day, they're gonna know what to expect. So now that I'm back here, I'm just gonna kind of look at them, make sure everybody's good, get them out of the way. Then I'm gonna drop the chick lift. So now they're lower to the ground, so predators can't get up underneath there. I put my food back in here. So that's it. That's moving. You have your day-old chicks. They come in, they're in the brooder for 3 weeks. You add bedding in there, you make sure they have fresh food and water every day. And once they get big enough, like they are now, that's when you can transfer them into a chicken tractor like this on the ground. Now, an important thing is, you really want to look at the weather forecast and see some of those nights that may get down in the 30s. So if that happens, what I will likely do is run an electric cord, an extension cord. I'm kind of keeping them a little bit closer to the house right now, but I'll run that extension cord out here and I'll put my heat lamp just directly in here, and then they will be fine. So that's just some things to keep in mind. You got to be flexible when it comes to them, but you want to get them out on the grass as quickly as possible. Every time you move these chickens, they're not in manure that they've been in before, right? So you're breaking up that kind of parasite cycle, you know, that nastiness in their manure and stuff like that. They're not walking around in that all day. They're on fresh grass. This is the cleanest way to do chickens. This is not the chicken from the grocery store that is in a massive warehouse where you walk in and it smells like ammonia and there's dead chickens everywhere that they have to pick through. This is just a different way of doing things, and it's the better way of doing things. It's better for you, the consumer, and it's better for the animal themselves. Like, they get to enjoy themselves, chase bugs, run around. They have fresh grass every day. This is a better lifestyle than most chickens ever have, you know, and that's why permaculture methods like this are the way forward. You know what I mean? Supporting small farms, and we are a small farm. I mean, I run one chicken tractor. I do maybe 3 or 4 batches of chickens every year, and I run hogs. That's it, you know what I mean? And I'm just doing this, it's a hobby, it's fun. I enjoy going to the farmers markets and meeting new people. It's fun for my family, you know, when my kids grow up, they're gonna learn responsibility, they're gonna learn the actual circle of life, not just from Lion King and all that nonsense. It's gonna be real life, a real life experience for all of us to have and grow together as a family, you know what I mean? So there's just so much more into it than you're raising chickens and selling them, you know what I mean? This is a lifestyle. It's a cool thing to do. And if you're interested, you know, reach out to me, go on our website. You know, I have an email list and stuff, and I'll send good gouge out, and you can communicate with us, or even just comment below. And just, you know, if you have questions or whatever, I'm more than willing to help. I've had a few people reach out about certain specific questions regarding animals and how to do things, and farmers market stuff, and you know, the certain pathways people can go in order to do this and be decent at it. You know, I'm no expert. I've been doing this for a few years now, but I've been homesteading since 2016. So in that regard, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all the things, and we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks.